Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a tag video. I was tagged by Rebecca Collazo, also known as Becky, here on YouTube, and she was tagged by Opinionated Scents, who's TeraMichelle. And TeraMichelle is the originator of the tag. I will link both of these ladies down below. I hope you go check out their fabulous content. The idea of the tag is one fragrance per season. What is your top fragrance per season? Or if you had to choose one, name one that you would not get sick of, that you think you would enjoy wearing throughout the entire season. Now, I am going to follow Becky's lead because she modified a little bit and did a daytime fragrance and a nighttime fragrance. So I'm going with that. And I'll tell you, this was probably one of the toughest tags to come up with the content for because it's almost like a favorites video, but not really. So I just want to clarify, some of these are favorites, but this is not a favorites video. The idea was for me to just choose fragrances that I could tolerate for an entire, 3 months, 4 months, 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months. How long is a season? If we have 12 months divided by 4, 3. Hashtag send help. A fragrance that I could tolerate for 3 months at a time. I did my best to pick ones that I have in mind today. I bet if you asked me this question tomorrow, I would have completely different responses. So knowing that, this is for fun, and let's jump right in. I'm going to actually start with spring. If we think about spring as the birth, the beginning of everything, right? So let's go to spring. So for my daytime spring fragrance, I wanted to get something fresh and flirty and fun, but I can't deny that one of my favorite fragrances in my collection that reminds me of the beauty of spring is Armani Si Fiori. This has been, or is going to be, we're not sure, at least the rumor is that this is discontinued. So if you think you might want this, be sure to get it right away. The bottle is gorgeous, spectacular. What I love about this is that it is a sweet, fruity, vanillic, powdery, very highly girly feminine fragrance. This reminds me of princesses and ballet slippers and tulle. It is citrusy at the top, but then it gets fruity and floral and musky and is just a sweet, delightful, very feminine, pleasant, crowd-pleasing fragrance that I think I could wear all spring long during the day, and everyone around me and I would enjoy it. My choice for spring evenings is one that others may actually think is a crazy or controversial choice, and I love it. What can I say? Narciso, the white cube. This is an all-time favorite of mine. I do admit, if you overspray, if you're not in the mood for this, if it happens to be a very warm day, this will be suffocating. It'll just feel like too much. However, for a pleasant spring evening, I'm talking about like the 60s and 70s, maybe even the 50s in the beginning of springtime here in Virginia, this is a gorgeous fragrance. I love this. This is not for everyone. It is very powerful. It's woody. It's musky. It has gardenia and rose. It's musky. Did I say musky already? This is the classic Narciso musk, Narciso Rodriguez musk that people know and love. It is potent, okay? Do not overspray. A spray or 2, 3, 4 if you're feeling really fancy and you're going to be outdoors will be great. But this is going to be in my collection forevermore. It was almost my wedding scent. I actually went with Alien as my wedding scent. Can you believe that? Yeah, I did. But I do like powerful fragrances, and this is one of those. Spring nights. Moving on to summer, I think you know what I'm going to say here, although this is a year-round fragrance for me. This is a lifer. This is probably my signature scent, if there is such a thing. And yeah, I'm talking about it again. It's still by Jennifer Lopez. You know, a lot of folks have purchased this because they hear me rave about it. Thank you. That means so much to me that you trust my opinion enough to go take a chance on a fragrance. This is an inexpensive fragrance. It should run you this size bottle, probably in the $20 to $35 range, depending on where you get it. And it's what I call a classic t-shirt fragrance, something very simple, easy, an easy grab, dumb reach, as some people call it. And it doesn't fail me. This has great projection. It lasts a long time. It's not like a beast mode fragrance or anything, but it definitely has some presence. It's a little green, but mostly floral and tea. There's a beautiful tea note in here. It even has an apple note at the top. But what I really think of this as is a happy, zesty, clean floral. Not cloying at all, not overwhelming, doesn't knock anyone out, non-offensive, great for all occasions. I could easily wear this to go to the grocery store just as much to go to a formal event. It's just a super great, versatile, fresh fragrance. I love it, and it's happy. Even though it's fresh and citrusy and light, it also has some sex appeal. This is a head turner for me. I have had people stop me in the street and ask what I'm wearing. I always tell the story of someone running across the street, a gentleman running across the street to ask me what I was wearing because I smelled so great. Still, Jennifer Lopez. My evening choice for summer is one that I have worn for a long time. Pretty powerful fragrance, and that's why it's for evening, not daytime. I'll wear it in the daytime anyway, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna call it an evening fragrance. It is Armani's Acqua di Gioia. This is in the newer bottle. I've had this in the old bottle. I think this is my second or maybe my third bottle of this. I really like this. It's a little aromatic, but more than anything, it's citrusy and it's clean and it's a little bit marine to me. And so marine is not listed as an accord, but there's something about this that reminds me of being near the ocean. I don't know if it's just that I have that association or if there's something maybe a little bit sea air and salty in here that it doesn't come up on Fragrantica and whatever, but that's what I get out of here. What this does have at the top that I love is lemon and mint. So those two combine for this really bright, fresh, in-your-face opening. Then you have some florals and pink pepper and even a little sugar and cedar in the base, which I find interesting. So there's a hint of woodiness in here, but for the most part, I think of this as a fresh, green, citrusy fragrance with some marineness, marinity, marine-like thing happening. Summer evenings, Acqua di Gioia. Going on to fall, I have been in love with the next fragrance for such a long time. It was love on first sniff. Actually, is that a lie? Am I telling you guys a story? I think that it was maybe too powerful on first sniff, and then when I walked around with it on in New York City, after I sampled it, it's a Bond number 9, hint, hint, hint. It was just like a love. And it is Chinatown from Bond number 9. So this has gardenia and tuberose in it, which yes, you can smell some of that in there, but what I get out of this most is this warmth and spiciness that just reminds me so much of fall and like pumpkin pie spice. It's amazing. Every time I put this on, I feel super special. It's a transportive? It's a fragrance that transports me. This is one of those fragrances that makes me feel super special. It makes me feel like I am going somewhere special. This is like a movie star fragrance to me. I get a lot of cardamom out of this, a lot of the sweetness probably from the vanilla, and then there's also some sandalwood in here, but it is like a fresh, spicy fragrance. It has peach at the top. Can I tell you that I get peach? No, or maybe I'm just not recognizing it as such. If I didn't know any better, I would think that this had ginger in it. It does have some orange blossom. This is one of my all-time favorite fragrances and always will be. This is super special to me. This is a quintessential fall daytime fragrance for me. Could be nighttime as well. What I have chosen for fall nights though is YSL Libre or Libre Intense or Intense. Say things however you think they need to be said. We're going to go with Libre Intense for today. Love this bottle, super beautiful. I really appreciate that this fragrance is what I call a womanly, sweet vanilla fragrance with some lavender touches in it. What I really appreciate about this fragrance is that it is a super womanly fragrance. It's a mature fragrance. It's not young and flirty and fresh. It's heavier and it's great for evenings. This will be a great date night fragrance or special occasion fragrance. It's heavy on the vanilla. It has some citrus in there so that it doesn't get too heavy. It keeps it a little bit bright, but it still has depth. It has lavender in it. And you do smell tonka bean and vanilla in the base. I just think this is a really special fragrance and one that is hard to get sick of because I enjoy wearing it and feel very cozy yet womanly and sweet smell. So we end with the season of winter. One of my favorite seasons up until Christmas. I love the week after Christmas because you're usually off work and relaxing. I don't really love January and February because those are like the bleakest months when everything has died off and it's the coldest and it's snowing. Although I do love being indoors and cozy and building a fire in the fireplace and all of those sorts of things. So there's lots of winter fragrances that I really love. For the day, I'm choosing Jo Malone Myrrh and Tonka. So in Myrrh and Tonka, guess what you get? You got it! You get myrrh. And you get tonka bean in the base. You also get vanilla and almond. This is a fragrance that it's also like a little bit aromatic, like just a touch. I put this on and people around me go bananas. It's just a really lovely smelling fragrance. It has great projection and longevity. The Jo Malones in the black bottles I find last a lot longer than the other ones. This is just a delightful, warm, cozy wraparound fragrance that puts you in the headspace of winter. It's also quite sexy. My husband loves this on me quite a lot. I love a good almond note. The addition of the lavender in there is interesting in that it keeps it from being like into too sweet territory, even though it is sweet. It has a little bit of that aromatic accord thing happening, which balances it out, and it could be a perfectly unisex fragrance. So that's my daytime fragrance. And for winter nights, drum roll please, none other than Dior addict herself. This is a fragrance that I had a really hard time enjoying in younger years. I did wear it, but boy, is it a powerhouse. As I am older, and quite frankly, as my sense of smell has dulled as I have aged, because guys, that does happen to us, this fragrance has emerged as a favorite for me. This is a sweet floral vanilla for the most part, heavy on the vanilla. When I wear it, you have to be in the mood because it will wear you if you don't. And it is really a thick fragrance. Like it sits on you like a heavy coat. When I wear this, I have had people stop me to ask what I have on. If it's cold, if it's hot, this is too much. But in cold weather, people seem to really love this on me. And I've had someone tell me that I smell like a wealthy woman. That was the compliment that I got. You smell rich, whatever we think that means. But this fragrance, it's got projection for days. It's got sillage. People love this. It's sexy. It's warm. It's cozy. Maybe don't overspray. Maybe keep it light, especially if you're going to be at dinner, close quarters with other people and that sort of thing. But this right here is the powerhouse of all powerhouse winter fragrances. That's not true. There are other powerhouses too, but it sounds cool to say that in a video. And a perfect nighttime date night fragrance, Dior Addict. I hope you enjoyed the video. Would love to hear from you. what some of your options are for seasonal fragrances. Thanks, Becky, so much for tagging me. Thanks, TeraMichelle, for starting the tag. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.